Okay, we're going live. We are live. Henry McClure live Monday night. I want to thank Father Nikolai today and Tyler Weibel for heading over and having some lunch with Dana Kay to talk about 37th Street. Thank you guys for your time. Let's see. Hey, if you want to call me right now. Call in. Let's go live. Also, too, if you're a small business or you got something you want to vent and talk about, just live. I was telling a friend. I said they said, "What's your show about?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of like the Seinfeld of podcasts. We can come in and talk about nothing." I think one of the interesting podcasts I had is with Janlyn Nesbitt Tucker about her recovery. That was a fun show. And this Saturday, we've got a show coming on with James Bolden Jr., who will officially endorse my campaign live, which I appreciate. James came in third and had a strong showing just for a rookie, right? I went to the county commission meeting today, and I think that's what the mayor should do. The mayor should be in the audience, ready to stand up and be a representative of the city in the county business. But one thing I am going to be critical about, it was an issue, and man, did I want to say this during the public meeting, but they were having a quilting, somebody was given a conditional use permit for a quilting deal. Well, they're going to only have 12 quilting tables, and these will not be used for birthday parties or other events. And it's like some people that have got some property are I think they're gonna build a new building or gonna have a building for this quilting thing. And then I thought, uh-oh, what if one of the quilters has a birthday and they bring a cake? Is that going to be against the subdivision? But anyway, there's an attorney there, Terry Isles, who originally had some issues because his house is right across the street. And Terry wanted to make sure that the drainage report for the property was followed. And man, the first thing out of Bill Rapon's mouth, oh no, that's city over there, and isn't that the city? And there's just a constant ping pong ball between the city, county, and it just shows me more than anything, everybody's business and nobody's business. But it got handled, and everything's going to end up being fine. But immediately, the knee-jerk reaction was just to pawn it off. Well, I've had a really long day, so I'm not going to be live too long. I'm just not feeling it. Feel like heading home. So, you're not getting much good today, but call in. If you got a question right now, 785-235-3353. Well, what have I done lately good as mayor? Well, I did write Jim Klossman a letter asking him to give back all the lots out on Lawrence Bay. There's over probably 100 lots that he could just give back, put them in the land bank, and you shouldn't. It's unfair to owe $7 million in back taxes and also have control of the real estate. And it's also unfair to owe $7 million in back taxes and then to make the city spend more money to sue you to get them back. And think about it, you guys. You paid the bonds. This Lawrence Bay action has put a burden on the taxpayers. And you guys got to start counting the nickels. I'm serious. Because the nickels add up in the millions. So he shouldn't. The elites shouldn't have a completely different level that they live on. Like really, the AT&T building, when you get down to it, it's worse than the hotel. I think the hotel exacerbated really how inept the council is. But then on the other hand, you could really look at it like, well, they wasted millions and millions over on the way they renovated the Expo Center. So if we look at the Expo Center just like I would the mall business because of my mall mentality, well, hey, you renovate the building from the inside out. And what they did was put lipstick on the pig. And we should have made the whole renovation about being able to bring more functions here, and how could we diversify the arena? Should we buy some new courts? There's a lot of stuff. I mean, literally, I think they were talking one time about having pickleball courts that you could lay out over it. And do we need to upgrade the ice skating? So, did the hotel fail because the arena didn't bring anything in? And I think what the county did, they were brilliant. They were brilliant in not buying the hotel, and they suckered the city into it. But at the end of the day, the county not renovating not renovating the Expo Center. It's like, hey, Henry, do you ever have anything nice to say? Well, yeah, I'm trying as a citizen to get Jim Klossman to do the right thing. And you keep complaining about the AT&T building. Well, what are you going to do different? Well, I'm going to vote no. I'm going to vote no on the $5 million to go to Topeka, which is an NGO, and really basically it's a government operation that gives money to the elites. The system around here is rigged. And hey, again, after the election the other day, I was really feeling like a loser. But you guys really, man, you spurred me on. I only had one negative phone call that day, and I'm not going to get into that one negative phone call, but it changed my life. You really know who your friends are. And it's amazing when you're fighting the people up here. I'm way down here. I'm with you guys. And then you see, when you're fighting the elite, who the elite really are and how they can affect your life. And you know something? At the end of the day, I don't need the elite. But I do need to stop the elite from fleecing us. There is just no reason whatsoever that we should be funding their prosperity. You know, we're at a point today where we can't afford their success. Hey, I saw something going on at the old Ray Beers building. I wonder if Jimbo's going to be fixing that up. Oh, also, too, I was out on 29th and Wanamaker the other day driving around, and I noticed there's a building there. Man, it's got holes in the roof. Isn't that a code violation? All right, nobody's calling in. You got 5 viewers. I love you guys. I think I need to put more in writing so you can go back and look at it. I think if I just took, hey, no, we should not be funding their prosperity. Hey, Carol, hello, Doctor. Dr. Cogswell's on the line. I took Dr. Cogswell out the other day to show her Lawrence Bay and, you know, the dam. And we're standing on the dam looking at the fancy fountains. And, you know, man, that's a nice life out there. And we're paying for it. We, the taxpayers, are paying just so those people can live that lifestyle. Now, I kind of like living down where I do, down by Amtrak. I live downtown by the fire station where they do all the training. I like being a part of downtown. I did move downtown. I think I kind of got a little suckered into it. Because downtown, you know, I hate to just say it, but it isn't all it cracked up to be. But I'll tell you, this Saturday it was. Vote no on lobbyists and consultants right off the bat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mark. We waste so much money. Now let's go to the hotel for a second. Let's go to the hotel. So at 6%, at a 6% commission, whatever the hotel would have sold for, you know, we spent $554,000 to a consultant to tell us what to do. And when we were talking to them, the only thing they wanted was what was it? A DoubleTree. Yeah. So the consultants got a deal with DoubleTree, and they get a kickback, maybe, or they get a commission so they can double dip. But Braxton Copley and the deal they've got on the table, it's phony baloney. We got a $3 million piece of real estate that we're county appraisal. So it just shows you right now. Oh, and also too, I gotta really get out that LOI again, because somebody was telling me the mayor was saying, well, everything that's there, we're loaning to them and we're going to get interest payments on. And I don't believe that to be true. And then also too, they said, the mayor said that, and this is coming in secondhand, but a constituent and supporter says their neighbors that everything on the AT&T building was a loan. Well, that's not true, and I got all that. I've got the lease and I've got the construction document. And here's one thing I want you to think about. Imagine Henry McClure live as your man. I mean, do you feel like some people have applauded the stuff that I've uncovered and bring to light? But imagine being able to do it on a daily basis from the mayor's office. Hey, why not have that kind of transparency? So let's go back to the NGOs, no more lobbyists and consultants. So we contract, Jetto contracts with Go Topeka. So let's say that they're a consultant, they're an NGO, and they get $5 million a year. Well, when they decide which chamber member to give the money to, we can't even go to the meeting. It's all done secretly. When are we going to pull our proverbially our heads out? You know, when are we going to do that? When are we going to say it's like that network, that movie network? Go to the window, say I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Well, that's where I'm at today. But also, too, my resentments would go to Topeka. They go clear back to when I had 200 acres of land under a development agreement out on 49th Street. So this isn't just anything that I woke up and, started researching things to hate. No, it's affect my ability to make a living in this town. And if it were you, if they were affecting you, and maybe it does affect you, you know why? I was telling a friend of mine today, well, hey, look, let's sell this property. Let's get out of here. What's bringing people to Topeka? What's the draw? I mean, you tell me. So, I mean, seriously, if somebody were going to come and open up a business in Topeka, I mean, it'd be very simple. I could tell you which banks to go make some substantial deposits in that bank, and then join the chamber, and then make a donation to go to Topeka, join Topeka Country Club, and go to work. You know, now you're in the club. And I'm not jealous. I'm not. I just think it shouldn't be taxpayer funded. But how does the common guy make it in Topeka? And that's what I'd really like to do. We got to start teaching people. So my whole life has been putting people in business, whether it's leasing space or selling them some ground and working with them. And I've had a lifetime of fun deals, but it can't be about jobs. You know, we got to figure out how to teach people to start their own businesses. So we got to make it to where the elites have some competition. But that's where the inherent conflict of interest starts, is with the elites controlling the economic development money and deciding who gets what. There could be a conflict of interest when we don't really like that guy. You notice when they don't like somebody. Let's say, for example, I'm going to give you an example for one time, Pizza Hut, behind Ace Hardware, besides it taking 2 years to get the building permit, besides the traffic study that wasn't necessary, I just wanted to use Chipotle's traffic study and make some plat notes on it. I asked for $100,000 from Go Topeka to extend a sewer main. And unfortunately for me, I forgot. I should have saved an easement to the land I sold to the city. And Steve Wade was in there. Remember Steve Wade? Does anybody remember Steve Wade? And, we could also, nobody's pinning Steve Wade on any of these incumbents, because that's a problem. Steve Wade was a problem. He was the guy, I think he was buying the hotel for some nefarious reason, for his proclivities. But I don't know that for a fact. And I feel sorry for the guy, because I watched his show. I watched the podcast, and he's mentally ill. And, I started having some compassion for the guy. But somebody knew that was on city council that he had these issues, and they went ahead and hired him. And that's a mistake. That is a mistake. I'd kind of like to know more about, Rhiannon leaving and in the planning department, and Amanda Stanley. But you start talking about consultants, Mr. Johnson. Let's talk about Benish. And what's funny is they're a tenant. Wow, I never really thought of this. They're a tenant in a building that Jim Klossman owns. Maybe that's why they got $1 million contract. We paid them $1 million last year, and I think since they've been around, they've it's like $3.4 million. And all we got to do is hire just pay a guy what we pay the city manager to go in and be an engineer. Wow, I forgot about, where the Dillon building? I think Jimbo might own that. But it's all getting too, some of my people say, you got to quit calling the names out. Well, I think there's a lot of people up here protecting the people I'm calling out. And it's the politicians and maybe even the parties, the political parties. But the consultants that's crazy what we spent. And is it really just people don't want to work for the city? Well, any other questions? What do you want me to talk about? I've had a day of days. Got to be in Lawrence tomorrow. I got some stuff cooking. Got to make a living still. Henry McClure Live. Make a living. Oh, man, I got a call this morning. I was having coffee with a friend. Bruce is going to run for Bill. He hasn't announced it yet. I would like to hear from your thoughts on the public safety. Okay, let's come back to public safety. But I did get a call today from this lady, and she goes, I'm a tenant of Lou McGinnis, and he's going to charge me $50 more for rent, and but I don't have internet. And I looked at my friend, I go, man, I am the mayor. Hey, so this is stuff we got to do. Okay, public safety. I ran into Brian Hill, and I think Brian is more willing to work with our police department than our police department's willing to work with Brian. So what I like about the sheriff, and what I'd really like to have one department. I'd really like to have one department because he's elected. And if he's not doing a good job, we can throw him out. Man, I ran into Mr. Leisinger last night or Saturday night, and he goes, "What's with this Karen Hiller endorsement?" And I go, "Well, this is the way I see it. And if I didn't talk enough about public safety, let me circle back. I look at Will Nager he's just exactly like Karen Hiller in his philosophy, his business philosophy. So why put a young Karen Hiller in when we could put Karen Hiller in and then get her voted out later? But I also do think that I could work with Karen in the future. And man, there were some issues about public safety. Anyway, it was on my mind. Did you see today where where Washington, D.C. was federalized for their crime issues. And I do think that I don't feel unsafe in Topeka, but there are a lot of people that do, and there are a lot of people that feel unsafe just because of their skin color. And that's a shame. That's just so wrong. And Topeka has never really rebounded since Brown versus Board of Education. Our community, white flight. So Seaman, Rural, Shawnee Heights all grew because of the white flight. And it's left a donut here in the middle. And when you want to talk about public safety, think about this zoning thing, the issue of duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. Because right after I did College Hill, we did a study on all the housing, 17th Topeka Boulevard, come back down Huntoon to Lane, and you only had 19% home ownership. You had the oldest housing stock in Topeka, and the most crime rate. And so you can't take the old housing stock and do duplexes, fourplexes. I mean, everywhere you turn, everything's a project. Everywhere you turn. I'm loving planning right now because they're going to help me change a subdivision regulation. I'm pretty sure we're going to change some of the verbiage because it's almost like you can't sell a property without recording the plat. But anyway, I'm working with those guys. Not everything's bad. Oh, one thing is bad. It's getting an answer. It's everybody's business and nobody's business to collect the taxes out in Lawrence Bay. Nobody fesses up for it. This would probably be a perfect time to get KG to look into it, our district attorney, because he ain't happy with the way things are going. And when it comes to public safety, I think that we can't have our district attorney unfunded. I mean, we got to make sure he's got enough money to be competitive to make things right. It's a complex issue since it takes collaboration with the county, union, DA office. Major crimes aside, property crime is a major issue. Yes, sir. It does. And this is why I want to get back to the Citizens Commission, because I think the Citizens Commission is what solves our issues here, because it will create a whole new form of accountability. But the Citizens Commission has the elected officials. I'll put in detail a follow-up on the Citizens Commission, but it also has citizens on the commission with the elected officials. So it's like the mayors of the small towns, people on the water districts, school board superintendents, mayors, city council people, county commission, but it also has people backing them up. So, at the county commission, the three guys, it's always a lot. County commission or city council, it's all the big things have been decided up here at the chamber, Go Topeka, and the Greater Topeka Partnership. They take their direction from them. So there's if we get the Citizens Commission. Now here's one thing about the Citizens Commission is for 5 years it said the county shall put together a Citizens Commission, and then the minute it got heating up, Senate Bill 104 goes flying through. because they all collaborate to keep it exactly like it is. And this is a shot. I'm telling you, somebody said today, hey, I work for the city. I kind of want to keep my nose clean. I don't want to have a conflict of interest. What can I do to help you? What you guys are going to have to do to help me is get people out and vote. Because if you've got somebody, if you say, well, this guy, I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I'm going to work for you. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I'm not going to back down. I'm putting my life at risk just talking the way I do. But fortunately, I've been fortunate enough in my life that I know better elites than these elites. The deals are what are keeping me surviving in this town. People are coming up to me. They know I've got 45 years of experience in real estate, but that's another thing. My opponent is a bureaucrat, a lobbyist. You don't want any more of that bull. You want a guy that can talk to people. I'm a deal maker. Hey, go to the Chick-fil-A and the Whataburger. Go over there to the Panda Express is going. It was a lot of work, but I got Heritage Tractor to town. Getting mainline printing over to the Gordmans. Doing the mainline printing deal at Sears. White Lakes never would have gone down if I could have got him to put the new roof on it. I've got a resume. Oh, man. I would like to know more something that concerns on the public water and infrastructure. Water bills keep increasing. This was the real problem. When Jack Alexander was running the water department, what they did, instead of taking all the money that he had in the bank and just kept pouring it back into infrastructure, the water department should have stood alone its whole life. The water department the money shouldn't have got into the general fund. We're so far back on infrastructure repairs to the water. That's one of the best concerns. Actually, Mark ought to be my campaign chairman. That's the best topic in streets. Look at the ballot. I've posted the ballot on my page. I'll do it again. But when you voted for economic development, you voted for about 15 road projects, which are all underwater due to the overruns. So we'll stop funding the NGO, make sure the road projects get done. We'll start running the water department appropriately, and because we're 100 years behind on the infrastructure? And we need to get a leader. Sylvia's a nice person. Yeah, we love you to death. But from what I understand, that water department is top heavy. That is way too many chiefs. Okay, I would like to know some concerns. Oh, okay, we got that one. Hey, Mark, you're keeping the show alive, man. We got an extra 15 minutes out of Mark's questions. Hey, Mark, like and share my stuff. I had 312,000 in the last 28 days. So if you see something on my page, like and share, we'll get the algorithm going. Oh, and I do have a treasurer, the young lady that runs Vubix. Kristen is going to do that. Thank you. And I'm going to get my bank account going again. We're going to stick with Shawnee County first because Shawnee County's our city. It really is, whether you like it or not. Shawnee County is the Shawnee County. What's this? Top heavy. City manager and the new guy from Washington State. Why? Well, because what they do, the new guys come in and then you got to hire your lieutenants to give you backup, man. Now, from what I understand, Avery is a good dude. I'm gonna go have coffee with him. I'd like to know him. But you want to, the top heavy guy is Braxton. Braxton knows nothing about engineering. Braxton is a disaster in the city when it comes to public works and his positions. So I've asked the city manager to move Braxton over to be the attorney, because Braxton got all bent out of shape when he didn't get the job back when Brendan Long retired and Norton Bonaparte was here and brought in Jackie Williams, I think, straining my brain. But and that's what's happened with Steve Wade's hires. Steve Wade's hires now have brought in people to create a wall around them. And then the bureaucracy just gets bigger. You know, we've got a lot of, why can't we hire somebody from Topeka? You know what I mean? We got to have choose Topeka because we don't have talent in our town. Well, we did get Tyler Jaggers, and that was a bonus. And I appreciate Tyler running for against Karen Heller and Will Nager. And it was fun going door to door with him. But we got to get somebody out there to replace Brett Kell. He can't put a sentence together. So, hey, any more questions? Call in if you want. You could go live on the Henry McClure live show. What do I got on the board? Let's put the planning commissions back together. Let's create an MPO that actually has public involvement. We can do things so differently in this community, but it's just we're just going to have to get involved, take our government back. You know, I tell people, you know, and so many people ask the party, what party are you? And they're just, I think the best answer I got from a friend, I go, okay, why are you a Democrat? And he goes, my girlfriend was a Democrat when I was 18 and I was a Democrat. Well, now I understand that. I think one of my favorite presidential candidates that ran was Ross Perot. I like that guy. And one of my favorite presidents ever was Harry Truman. I do like Abraham Lincoln. You know, the Republican Party was to fight the Democrats that were all promoting slavery. Let's see. George Washington was a good president. I tell you, Jefferson, though, man, the Louisiana Purchase. Now, from a real estate guy, Thomas Jefferson was the man. But we personally have to forget about party politics and roll up our sleeves. Let's put Shawnee County first. Let's make Topeka, let's make it golden. I like James Bolden. We're going to be golden with Bolden. And James is going to we're going to start doing our black and white show again. I'll be curious to know your thoughts on how to improve municipal court. I'm going to make sure I don't get any speeding tickets and not be in front of them. Okay, that's a little smart aleck, but it's true. I like the guy that runs municipal court. His wife is the director of planning at the county, and Cook hired her when he was a public prosecutor or the public defender. Hey, does anybody know what old Cook is doing today? Do you remember Rock'em Sock'em Robots? You remember those? Every time I see Cook, I think of that. Okay, I digress. Hey, look, there isn't any reason we can't have a little humor in the show. Um, but in all seriousness, I don't know what the issues are with municipal court. Uh, what do we want to talk about, Mark? Yeah, we have some real serious issues. We do. And here's one thing I will tell you for sure. The guy that I'm running against is a he is polished politician. He is a bureaucrat. And, he is the system when it comes to being a political person. His signs, his presentation. I am not a politician. And that's why you vote for me. You vote for me because I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to get in there. The city needs to stop charging for parking downtown and collect on city code violations. Yes, sir. I agree with you. I can tell you some city code violations. Go out to 29th and Wanamaker, and I agree with you. I think that we ought to get rid of meters downtown. Let's start doing this. This is one thing. Let me plant this in your head. Because this isn't about Henry McClure being a real estate broker, but it's about a mayor that knows a lot about real estate deals. Because we can start selling our assets and leasing them back. I can get the city out of debt by writing leases that give us the authority. If you write the right lease, you don't need to have fee simple or ownership to the real estate. It's like the garage that was put out there at Mainline Printing. Let's just figure out how to sell it and lease it back. And we can do that with our assets. Today, let's sell the properties down at the riverfront. We need to be making deals down on the riverfront today so it's teed up and ready to go. See, if we get a uniform development agreement, then the elites don't have first shot at it. See, at Lawrence Bay, not only does the guy not have the back payments, he never intended on paying them. And that was because of an incestuous relationship across the board with the original developer, Giuliani. And now we shouldn't have to sue him to get control, move the properties down in the land bank. We can we can sell the parking garages and create it's like a bond. So you get a guy that's got a place, you find a guy that's got a place $100 million and you give him like a 4% or return on 100 million, then he can breathe easy. It's guys with the huge estates. I can get us out of debt, lickety split. And this isn't me earning commissions. No, no, this is me being your mayor and going and creating a more stable community financially. Think about it. When we wake up every first of every month, it's about $2.2 million that you got in debt service. So really what we need to do is we need to do the risk management on the city. So we got to figure out how much money does it take to run the city? How much revenue do we have coming in? And what are our long-term liabilities? And I'll tell you, that's something I understand. I eat, sleep, and drink that. Because it's the way you underwrite income property. I'm telling you, we're not done with this hotel. It's going to blow up. It's just, I know it is. And we should close the hotel today. We should stop the management. You know, we got to stop the bleeding. You know, Craig McCullough, when he was running for city council and I was his treasurer, he wanted to use the term stop the stupid. And I think we really should have gone with that. But there are solutions, but there are solutions that a businessman understands, not a bureaucrat. The bureaucrat, the polished politician, is the guy that got us into this problem. You know, there are two guys, there's two different personalities. So, you know, get dressed up on Sunday, you know, Mom, hey, whatever you do, you know, you get dirty. Well, my friends are over there playing football, right? And I'm in the mud. Oh, man, I got my new clothes dirty, right? Well, the polished politician is standing on the side, you know, looking at how vile those people are having so much fun playing football in the mud. Well, that's what business people do. Sometimes we get down into the mud. Sometimes it ain't pretty. But those are the deals you make. The polished politician is the guy that got us into this trouble. You got nothing to lose. 44 years of experience doing real estate deals. Hey, I got to get this lady out of her $50 internet thing to Lou McGinnis. She goes, look, I got a flip phone. I don't have any internet. Oh, that was cute. That made my day today. Boy, I tell you one thing. You know, if my researchers, anybody that does research for me, you know what would be fun is to get the, besides, also, I think that we ought to get Spencer and Henry on stage together and you guys can ask us questions. And I'll write him a formal letter. Wouldn't that be cool? And let's put it on city TV. Let's go down to the hotel. We've got all those meeting rooms. Henry McClure Live will cover it. But I'd love to have a campaign rally down on the Capitol Plaza there, you know, the downtown plaza, Capitol Federal Plaza area, and have a band there, get Bash down there. We could get everybody. Man, Bash was fun this weekend. I got to use some office space and set up camp there. Boy, what a lot of fun. People just coming up to me. There are really a lot of nice people that live in this city. And it's tough being the guy, you know, poking the elite in the eye. And, you know, I had to tell a friend, I go, you got to break some eggs to eat an omelet. And, well, that got me hung up on. But anyway, man, good questions. We've almost gone an hour. Got 6 people watching. Do you know that I almost had 600,000 views over the last 90 days? So today, this is it. This is it. This is the advertising. So if you like what I say, like and share, but also tell your neighbors. You know, tell the guy that doesn't get on Facebook. What I really found out was crazy. The demographics of Facebook are the older people. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Yes, and I've done door knocking, and I'm going to do more door knocking, and it's great. It is great. Taking it to the streets, baby. But what's crazy is the demographics of Facebook are the best. This is the best demographic for the voters. But I wish I could get Chad Fay and Gabriel Kilman to make some formal endorsements. It would be nice. But I do agree with you, Mark. Door to door, baby. Well, I've been sitting here. A friend of mine says, "Well, what is it like? What are Topeka politics like?" And I said, "Well, do you remember when Ali got older, the rope-a-dope? So the government is Ali, bouncing off the ropes, boom, boom, boom. So the voters are out here, we're swinging, we're out here swinging in the dark. And then all of a sudden, when it's time, when the voter is vulnerable, boom, they go buy a hotel. Boom, they don't collect taxes for a decade. Boom. Oh, listen to this. Here's a good one to the 5 viewers on here. So this is it. They hired Bartlett & West. Bartlett & West already has a $3.5 million contract to shrink Huntoon. And now they're going to start having public involvement about it. Well, that makes no sense, but that's Topeka, the rope-a-dope. Boom! Now we're going to knock you out with Huntoon. I think Huntoon today is fine. This is the problem with our city. We spend money like we got it. And so a guy makes a bad real estate deal, he just goes to Topeka, votes on it in a private meeting, boom, $9.5 million. There's some people that just can't lose, except the voters. We're losing. Well, that's it for me tonight. I love you guys. Tell your friends, like and share, and help me out. I'll be okay either way, but I'd like to work for you. We can change this town. The Citizens Commission is the secret. And no more stupid deals. I'm telling you. All right, I'm live. I'm saying goodnight. Oh, wait. Did I tell you I'm in the Glass Houses studio, which is part of the Ryan Mowinkle empire of commercial real estate? Yes, sir. That's where I'm at.